The situation currently at Fanatec is a dumpster fire. Why is that? From my previous video, I'll leave a link at the top. We know that Thomas Jackermeier had put forth an amazing proposal to generate liquidity assets to save the company to the tune of 25 million euros. I thought this was a complete shoo-in, yet Endor still haven't accepted it and are still peddling and treading water. What it turns out is that there is essentially a hostile takeover that's apparently happening behind the scenes in order to get rid of Thomas Jackermeier, devalue the shareholder, essentially devaluing all their assets, and ultimately sell Fanatec to a hedge fund. This, I thought, was all kind of rumours and conjecture, but the facts as they stand are pretty solid. Let's get into it. So the current unfoldings happening at Fanatec would not look out of place in a John Grisham novel. Somebody call Tom Cruise, make sure he's free. As we know, I'll give you a brief recap, but please check my previous videos for a more in-depth analysis. We know that Thomas Jackermeier was ousted as CEO due to a mandate from the lending banks, and thus issued a new era with a new CEO, a new chief financial officer, and a potential restructuring that was going to save Fanatec. In more recent news, they issued in a potential star rug procedure. I explain in depth what that is in my previous video. I'll link all these in the description below. But essentially, it's a method to prevent insolvency and financial restructuring and helps rearrange assets in order to kind of save a company. So we think. However, what is actually happening is far from the truth. So I'm just going to present the facts as they stand. Now, the proposal for the star rug procedure is that basically Fanatec is going to be bought out by a company called Birkenstein Capital. Now, I'm just going to go through the timeline here and just highlight two things, and everybody form your own conclusions. Now, if we go to Matthias Kosch is the current Chief Financial Officer of Endor, and if we look at his LinkedIn profile, we'll see that, look, he came into Endor in November 2023 as an executive board member, very good, and he also spent 15 years at Blue Cap AG. Cool, nothing to worry about, right? However, bear in mind that Fanatec are now being proposed to be sold to Birkenstein Capital. Who's running Birkenstein Capital? Alright, this is a chap called Tobias Hoffmann-Becking, and as we can see, he's a managing partner at Birkenstein Capital since January 2024, but also works as a chief executive officer for Blue Cap AG. Who else worked for Blue Cap AG? Oh yeah, Matthias Kosch. Bit of a coincidence, right? So you got these two guys who've worked pretty much together at Blue Cap AG, one of which has formed a new company, Birkenstein Capital, who it looks like he's now working with his mate, Matthias Kosch, to buy out Fanatec. This just doesn't seem right. And there's people who have got some stuff to say about it. Enter the SDK. Who are these, you might ask? Well, it stands for, in German, forgive me, Schutzgemeinschaft de Kapitalanleger, which roughly translates in English to the Association for Protection of Investors. Founded in 1959 as the Protection Association of Small Shareholders with the aim of strengthening the rights and interests of minority shareholders. And this whole situation has caught their attention. Now, there is a spectacular video on their YouTube channel from their CEO, Daniel Bauer. It's all in German, it's 30 minutes long, it will require you to translate it. But it's a spectacular video that goes into the nuances behind this whole debacle at Endor AG, and he does a much better job explaining the intricacies of it than I ever could. I'll leave a link in the description below if you wish to check that out. It is indeed very informative. They have just released a statement as of the 3rd of May at 10:40 AM from the SDK themselves, which essentially demands a convening of a general meeting pursuant to Section 122 of the German Stock Corporation Act at Endor AG. I'm not going to go through all of this. I'll leave a link in the description below if you wish to have a little look at it at your leisure, but essentially what this buckles down to is that there is massive concern with how the star rug procedure is being conducted, and also draws highlight to the two things I've just highlighted to you. You've got the two people who have worked at Blue Cap AG. One now owns a significant amount of Birkenstein Capital, and the other is the Chief Financial Officer of Endor, coming together and somehow doing a deal, what looks like behind the scenes, in order to dismantle the company and create a load of money whilst screwing over the shareholder. They've basically called this in to highlight, they've highlighted what seems as basically an immoral set of circumstances that just doesn't seem right. And they're calling a general meeting in order to discuss this, in order to highlight it, and also to explain the procedure. And the key bit here is calling for a vote of no confidence in the board member, Chief Financial Officer Matthias Kosch, and also Supervisory Board Member Ingo Weber to be dismissed, and a new Supervisory Board Member to be elected. Again, this isn't what's going to happen, this is what's going to be proposed, but there are definitely things working behind the scenes here, and it all seems like it's coming to a head. The last bit of information released by Endel themselves was on the 26th of April, and as of yet, they have not commented on the situation. I would imagine with all of this coming out literally a day or so ago, it's only a matter of time before we hear something or this all comes to a head and the entire thing implodes. What do you think? With all this infighting at Fanatec, with apparently the Chief Financial Officer looking like he's working with his mate over at Birkenstein Capital, and they both used to work at Blue Cap AG, do you think that Thomas Jackermeier still stands a chance getting his, what I think is a pretty good proposal of generating 26 million in liquidity assets to save Fanatec? I personally hope so. I thought it was a done deal, but I didn't realize that Endor AG apparently has massive ulterior motives in order to not allow this to go through. Let me know in the comments what you think. What do you think of the whole situation? John Grisham's writing a novel right now. Tom Cruise is starring. It's going to be a blockbuster. Let me know. Right, hit the like button, subscribe, keep it a TTR for more sim racing news. Bye for now.